And I'll tell you in a few minutes some of the calls we get. But people are still facing, as I said, foreclosure. There are still hungry people, and that's not okay in our community. That's not okay anywhere. We've got to get them back to work. We've got to get the food and the emergency help that people need. The need is still there. You're reading about it. I read about it in my favorite newspaper. In fact, our chairman of the board currently is Terry Egger, who's the publisher of the Plain Dealer. And so in my favorite newspaper, a little self-serving, every day, read the stories. Read the human stories. Not just the government stories, not just the economy stories, but read the people stories. People that really are stressed out. And in fact, the stress is growing, not lessening. People that don't have the extra $50 to take the course at Cuyahoga Community College or Cleveland State or at any number of universities. They don't have that gap money. We're trying to help get them back to work. So the need is there. Philanthropy, giving, today is even more important. It's even more important. The need's there. It's not one that, I've given a few talks. I always ask the audience. In fact, I was at Key Bank yesterday and asked the question, how many people in high school decide that they want to be impoverished or foreclosed or hungry? They don't. So I'm not saying that it's not some of their fault. I'm saying that there's incredible need out there. One of the first steps that people take always in our town is to call 211, United Way's 211. It's our information referral service. Almost 2,000 services are in our database. But these are trained and certified information specialists that connect people in need or with questions to services. I'm going to give you some statistics that are kind of interesting. It just parallels what's going on, what I've been talking about. And so if I'm emotional, if I'm pleading to engage all of you, it's because numbers like this. In 2007, 151,000 people right here in Cuyahoga County picked up that phone and said, I need help. 151,000. 2008, 191,000 people. Just last year, almost 207,000 people picked up that phone and said they needed help. And while we get some fun calls, most of them are not fun. Most of them are not fun. When the electric grid went down a couple of years ago, we did get a couple fun calls, and the staff do get on their knees every morning and thank God that I didn't get those calls. But the fact is that somebody called when the grid went down, the electrical was gone, and called and said, I have no power, I have lots of half gallons of ice cream, what should I do? Smart staff. I mean, these are dedicated, smart people that was pretty easy. You know, it's pretty hard to stay focused when you don't have power, you're on a generator, you're rerouting calls through Akron or Chicago, which they did immediately. But I happened to be on the floor when that call came, and this person didn't miss a beat. They said, do you have children? Why, yes, I do. Well, why don't you have an ice cream party? Oh, that's great. But to that person, it was a really important call. At the other end of the spectrum, we get people that call that are in the middle of domestic violence right now, suicide right now. They're hungry. They haven't eaten in days. They don't know where to sleep. Is there some place that we can get utility assistance? And so when we talk about in our community that we touch 450,000 people every year, it's a very conservative number. Just in 211, people turn to us, over 207,000, and we're on a faster pace already this year. I wish we could go out of business, frankly. I wish we didn't have to have that service line, but we're blessed to have it here in our county. Not all counties in Ohio have it, and certainly throughout the country, not all cities and counties have this terrific service. That's where some of your investment, and I call it an investment because there is a return. But in this county, we're blessed. We have lots of partners, county government, area agency on aging, Western Reserve, all kinds of people that have come forward along with you and us to make 211 possible. I would say to you that the numbers are kind of scary. Just this year, we got 2,300 calls on foreclosure. But guess what? They didn't come from the city. They came from the suburbs. 2,300 from the suburbs already this year. People are calling us about shelter and food, utility assistance. I'll give you two quick examples of how we help together. We're part of a coalition, another collaborative called the Earned Income Tax Coalition. In that coalition, we work together with banks and others and accountants to help people prepare their taxes who can't prepare them themselves. People that have earned an income tax credit but wouldn't know that. Over the last 3 or 4 years, we've been able to return to the people that need it the most in Cuyahoga County almost $9.5 million over and above any campaign. That's the kind of work that 211 and People Together can do. In addition to that, we provided almost $650,000 worth of prescription drug assistance to people. So there's a lot of need, a lot of phone calls, and a lot of people helping out. A lot of people. This United Way works really hard at being focused, laser focused. One of the questions I always get is, what's your administrative cost? I know all that money is going to you big shots. I can tell you that we are 12.6%. We've been under 13% for years, and sometimes at 11.8%. We're very proud of that. That means everything we do, all the dollars we raise, is under that percentage. Everything. And that's pretty remarkable. Our volunteers, the oversight that is done, whether it's audit or operations or our investment committees, in fact, that met this morning, we really try to be focused, efficient, effective. We're going to cut the cloth to meet the pattern. Our staff, I'm not pleased to report, but we've been able to reinstitute a little. We had to take, all of us, just like all of you, salary freezes, slow down in any of the programs that we do inside for staff and training. That's what you do because it's the people out there that you've got to serve. So we take it really seriously. What can you do? I talked about the need. I don't want to focus any more on that. What I want to focus on is what you can do in the few minutes I have remaining. You can engage. I said it was a contact sport. It's a contact sport. We need your dollars. We've locked the doors here in the room. No, we haven't done that. We need your dollars. We need you. The greatest minds in this community are the ones that help us build the community. So if you want to know about Greater Cleveland and how to make it a greater Cleveland, engage, get involved. If you've been involved, get involved some more. That's really important. It is the mobilization of the community that makes all these things possible. It is the volunteers that step up at the toughest time that says, I will. I do. I care. And they're not just a name on a roster. They're there. The fact that 600 people from the Eaton Corporation show up for a day of caring, to rebuild playgrounds, to rebuild nursery centers, to rebuild camps. Same at General Electric and same at Key. Days of caring through the United Way. So this collaboration, this working together, this coming together where you see bus after bus after bus. I've been there at 6 in the morning at Pat's camp for her kids that wouldn't have a chance to go to camp when GE is cutting and sawing and rebuilding, and this is all their resource. So over and above campaign, there's a real spirit in our town. I guess I would be really remiss. I would get shot at sunrise by both my chairman. September 2nd kicks off our next campaign on Public Square here in Cleveland. And I hope you all come down. It's a pretty inexpensive breakfast. Money goes to where it's supposed to go. It's, I think, still $5, and we'll even deliver it to your offices. But David Goodman and Rich Stofsky will announce the goal, and they're working on it right now. It's a bottoms-up approach to really what we can raise. But it is the nature of the people in this town to give back. It's the human spirit to care. In closing, I want to thank you again. I want to thank the entire community, in fact, the entire country, because it is about caring. It is about showing up at game time. And whatever you do, one act of kindness comes back to this community tenfold. The saying goes to many of us, a lot has been given, but a lot is expected.